Welcome back to First Listen, that series where we listen to an album that we've never heard before for the first time.
Today we're going to be listening to Guts, which is Olivia Rodrigo's second studio album. This was released in 2023 and it has been very highly requested.
We have already done a first listen for Olivia Rodrigo's debut album in Sour, which went down very well. Welcome back if you are from that video. Should we stop messing around and kick it off with the first track in Guts, which is All American Bitch.
Attention to things that most people ignore. And I'm alright with the movies that make
I've heard a lot of people say this album is heavier than Sour, so I'm hoping we get some energy.
feel for your every little issue. I know just what you mean.
Some really good vocals right off the bat. This is good.
I've got sun in my motherfucking pocket, best believe. Yeah, you know me.
They're quite spacey.
God damn!
You can't resist. I'm a perfect all-American. I am light as a feather.
I like that she didn't say the word and it went straight back to being
But also,
nice
I
again.
liked the way it dropped out after that heavy second. I maybe thought it'd carry on, but it just went whoop.
With love to spare. Forgive and I forget. I know my age and I act like it. Got what you can't resist. I'm a perfect all-American bitch.
There we go.
With perfect all-American lips and perfect all-American hips. I know my place. I know my place. And this is it.
Just loads of screams in the background. That's fun. I like that.
I'm grateful all the talking time. I'm sexy and I'm kind. I'm pretty when I cry.
That was a great intro track to the album, I think. I think if that's going to set the pace, then we're in for quite a hectic ride here.
It really was. That's exactly what I wanted coming into this. It was almost a pop punk track. It was more just a rock, punky, energy infused. If you'd have told me before we read the comments around Sour that this is what an Olivia Rodrigo track sounded like, I'd have been baffled.
When you compare this to Sour, already we've got more energy in there. And like we said, the last one was more like poppy punk. This, as you're saying, just feels generic pop punk. It's good. I like it.
Well, let's go on to the second song, which is Bad Idea, right?
Let's find out.
Straight away.
Funky little bass there. Obviously, I'm picking up on that. Beautiful.
Haven't heard from you in a couple of months, but I'm out right now and I'm all bugged up. And you're calling my phone, you're all alone, and I'm sensing some undertones. My brain goes,
Good switch up in the vocal style in delivery there. First was more like radio-like.
seeing you tonight. It's a bad idea, right? Seeing you tonight.
I feel like I know this.
I can see you getting ready to be hyped.
Seeing you tonight. It's a bad idea, right? Seeing you tonight. Fuck it, it's fine. Yes, I know that he's my ex, but can't two people reconnect? I only see him as a friend. The biggest lie I ever said. Oh, yes, I know that he's my ex, but can't two people reconnect? I only see him as a friend. Tripped and fell into his bed. Now I'm getting in the car, wrecking all my plans.
I really like this spoken word.
Seeing you tonight. It's a bad idea, right?
Oh, that's snare.
It's a bad idea, right? Seeing you tonight. It's a bad idea, right? Seeing you tonight.
Fuck it, it's fine.
Yes, I know that he's my ex, but can't two people reconnect? I only see him as a friend. The biggest lie I ever said. Oh, yes, I know that he's my ex. Can't two people reconnect?
That's sick, bro.
Great production.
The biggest lie I ever said.
It's like chaotic but controlled. It's great.
I just tripped and fell into his bed.
A lot of people said we'd like Guts, and so far, what an introduction. Both of those songs. On this, I really liked the production. The vocals kept changing. At the start, it was kind of like a walkie-talkie radio type delivery, and then there was some proper singing in there, and then there was some more kind of angry screams and strange background melodies. What a track.
Yeah, there was a lot going on there. What I really liked was the crazy kind of guitar-esque solo going on. I couldn't tell if it was a guitar or a synth. It was something. It sounded really cool and added a lot because it would be in a section where she'd say something, it'd drop out, and then all that stuff going on. And I think it just added a lot of chaos to the track without making it too kind of overstepped.
I think the chaos was good because even in the elements where it was building up and there was a calmer moment, both were different. In the second time that happened, there was a little bit more going on with the instruments. I thought that the production on that track was unbelievable.
I mean, already though, with the lyrics alone, clearly the last album was a bit of like a heartfelt, like, I'm pretty upset of what's happening and I don't like that he's moved on, but I'm going to accept it. But no, I don't actually accept it. And this album, she's like, fuck it, I've gone back to him. I know he's toxic, but what can I do? And to be the man that makes Olivia Rodrigo make these two, I mean, we've only 2 songs in, but let's say 2 great albums. Oh, what did you do to her, man?
And before we get on to the third song, please do remember to hit like and subscribe. If you're an Olivia Rodrigo fan, let us know what your favourite track on Guts is in the comments. But the third track is Vampire. Surely we can't have 3 super energetic ones in a row.
Well, piano intro, so it might be a little bit calmer. Bit more heartfelt, maybe, with it being called Vampire. Hard to say.
Hate to give the satisfaction asking how you're doing now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted. You gotta laugh at the stupidity, 'cause I've made some real big
She's really good at this airy delivery. I think it sounds so good. Because then when she starts to put more effort in, it starts to really build up.
Sounds like it'd be really good in a cinema or in a massive sound system. Great vocals there.
Every girl I ever
Oh.
talked to told me you were bad news. You called them crazy. God, I hate the way I called them crazy too. You're so convincing. How do you lie without flinching? Ooh, goddamn vampire. You said it was true love, but wouldn't that be hard? You can't love anyone, 'cause that would mean you had a heart. I tried to help you out, now I know that I can't, 'cause how you think's the kind of thing I'll never understand.
Loved that. Loved that.
Sucker, fame fucker, bleeding me dry like a goddamn vampire.
What a track that I was not expecting that at all.
I know it's good when you're there doing a little dancey dance towards the end of the song. I really enjoyed that. It went in 100 different directions at the start. I was like, all right, yeah, calm track. Vocals are really nice, as I would expect. Lyrically, it kind of reminded me of Sour in the way that it was about like relationships, etc. But I also quite liked the way that they used a vampire in that type of love track. Like Bloodsucker is such a cool way to have done that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because they were kind of referring to the title of the track without outright saying the title of the track. But I really liked kind of how she was, well, it was kind of a fuck you to my ex, wasn't it, there? And also talking about a lot of things that were clearly very personal to her. But a lot of the instrumental on that track was very surprising. I didn't expect the kind of bass drum to kick in with the piano that kind of started to carry it. And also that dun 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 when it started getting faster and faster. It sounded almost like, I can't remember which song it is. There's a song by Fatboy Slim, which is insane, where it starts to build up. I think it's Funk Soul Brother, where it's check it out now.
Right, so it's...
But it added that electronic element to it, whilst also being a piano ballad, but also having a bit more. It was great. It was so good.
Variation in every moment of it. But Tim, what track is up next?
Next up, we have Lacey. So is this going to be about her ex's new girlfriend, maybe?
Oh, not Lacey.
Not Lacey.
Maybe now is the actual calm moment.
Lacy, oh Lacy, skin like puff pastry.
It's a strange line.
Girls, a sausage roll.
On this side of hell, I can't
Beautiful layered vocals.
Watching hidden in plain sight. People are people, but it's like you're made of angel dust.
Why would you pause it right at the bit where it's going to kick off? Go on, you best have something good to say now.
Do you think this is about his ex's new girlfriend?
I would assume so, yes.
It
Or maybe
seems
someone
like-
she had a crush on or something.
Yeah, and it sounds like, you know, she's saying all these nice things, but I really, really don't like you.
Yeah, she's very jealous.
Didn't know it was about to kick off there as I went to pause it. So let's find out where this is going to go now.
Yeah, I despise my rotten mind and how much it worships you.
See, I thought that might have been about her ex's new girlfriend because she was saying you've got the one thing that I want, being her ex, which she spoke about previously. But I think you might be right in that she doesn't like the fact that she likes this girl so much, potentially.
Yeah, it could be either way, but them lyrics at the end sounded very haunted and personal. The way that she delivered them almost sounded like something out of a horror film. It was quite different to the rest of the song.
It was very classic Olivia Rodrigo whisper vocals, which is what she's, really good at. We've heard it on many tracks now, and I think she's phenomenal at doing that.
But as an overall track, a little bit of a tone down in comparison to the first three. In the flow of the album, probably something we needed. And then we'll go on to track number 5, which is Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl. A very strange title. Let's see if the track is as strange. Straight
Back to
back
that
in.
rock sound, come on.
Got my tongue, and I don't think I get along with anyone. Blood running cold.
This is giving me more indie vibes.
Outside is the greatest inside joke. I know I'm broke glass, I tripped the bad, told secrets I shouldn't tell. I still know words, I made it weird, I made it worse with social suicide.
I like the splitting of that word.
I feel like if you asked a lot of Olivia Rodrigo fans if they like rock music, they'd probably say no, but this and a few of the other tracks have just been different iterations of rock music done very well. Like, this is so catchy. That chorus there I really liked, but it's just a good rock song.
Thing is, I'm going to be real here in the way that I don't really know that much about Olivia Rodrigo fans because I think they're a very unproblematic fan base. They don't really make a lot of noise online. They don't seem to be throwing hate at other people, and they seem to exist within their own realm. And now, since we uploaded the Sour video, we've kind of entered that realm, and I've started to realize that I think maybe they have got a bit more of a music taste than I expected them to. No offense to anybody, that's not what I mean. But I always put Olivia Rodrigo in the pop girly category with your Chapel Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swifts. And while she does kind of veer into that territory,
She has songs in that territory.
she's in her own lane. I don't think there's many other female artists out there at the moment that are as popular as she is doing what she is doing. She's kind of like a modern age Hayley Williams, like genuinely.
Everything I do is tragic. Every guy I like is gay. The morning after I panic. Oh God, what did I say? I broke glass, I tripped the bad, told secrets I shouldn't tell.
This song is clearly about her going to like a house party or trying to go out to see some people, getting a bit too drunk, and then the next morning waking up with that anxiety. And I think we can all relate to that.
Oh, that anxiety is one of the worst things in the world, and everyone's had it where they've had a few too many, and the next day they're like, what did I get up to?
Or another term for it, which I've heard used, is beer fear, which is another one that's great. But let's go straight back in. I've really liked that bass that's been throughout this song. Really nice bass line.
I'm really hoping this little last bit now can switch it up, make it a bit different, and this would probably be my favourite track.
I broke a glass, tripped and fell, told secrets
And just boot in again.
I shouldn't tell. Stumbled over all my words, made it weird and made it worse each day that I'm alive. It's so
That's a grungy guitar tone. For a split second there, I thought we were going to get a halftime breakdown. I thought it was
We're going to get like some Deftones. Yeah.
A lot of valid feelings on that track. I think we've all done that before. I think we've all maybe had one or two too many and have called somebody the wrong name multiple times.
But as a track, I think that might have been my favourite on the album so far. Obviously, I'm very much into that more indie rock and slightly leaning into pop punk sound. And that achieved that so well. The chorus was really catchy. The guitar riffs and the drum work was fantastic. I'm massively surprised by that.
For me, I really like the track. Bad Idea, right, would still be my favourite, but this track kind of, it added an extra layer of sound that we've not heard yet on the entirety of a discography. I mean, only 2 albums in, but this is something that feels new, it feels fresh, and it's kind of infused, like you're saying, with that indie sound. There's a certain vibe to it that feels really good, but the guitar tones on this track in particular were really grungy. Like when it all dropped out and it started to come back in, that really heavy distorted guitar, phenomenal work.
Well, Tim, we're about at the halfway point now with Making the Bed up next.
Want it, so I got it. Did it, so it's done. Another thing I ruined. I used to do for fun. Another piece of plastic I could just throw away. Another conversation with nothing good to say. I thought it, so I said it. But sometimes I feel like I don't wanna be where I am. Getting drunk at a club with my fair weather friends. Push away all the people who know me the best.
A lot more of a ballad.
I can't stop at the red light, can't swerve off the road. I read somewhere it's 'cause my life feels so out of control.
That's an interesting part. I like it when people kind of start to try and dissect their dreams. And like she's saying, she tried to stop at a red light, but she couldn't. And that's a signifier that her life's out of control. Because my dreams, my good God. I had a dream recently where I was eating pizza on the set of a Terminator film, and then I went somewhere else and had a cooking competition with some random actor. And yeah, so tell me what does that mean?
I don't really remember many of my dreams, to be honest. I do have them every now and then, but they're never that in-depth.
Mine are usually just the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. I just felt like I needed to interject that there. I had to tell somebody.
Okay. You are heard, brother.
Tell someone I love them, just as a distraction. They tell me that they love me like I'm some tourist attraction. Counting all of the beautiful things I regret, but it's me who's been making the bed. Me who's been making the bed. Pull the sheets over my head, making the bed.
I'd say that was probably my least favourite song so far. It was okay, especially in that last section where there was a bit more going on with the instrumental for a couple seconds. That was nice, but I thought it just didn't have as much substance as the other tracks. But we do need this in the album. We can't just have energy all the time.
Yeah, it was a lot more emotional and heartfelt than previous tracks, but also I did feel like there was a little bit too much repetition in it. It's the me that's been making the bed. That chorus, the message that she was getting across was great, but the chorus itself was very... I don't know. I felt like we heard it 4 or 5 times throughout the song, and it got to a point where I thought, all right, are you going to add something else to it? And it never really did. So whilst it wasn't a terrible track, it wasn't for me.
Well, there's got to be some album tracks, Tim, but up next is Logical.
Master manipulator, God, you're so good at what you do. Come for me like a savior. I'd put myself through hell for you. Hear all the rumors lately.
I don't know why, those first couple of lines just made me think. I was listening to something the other day and they were talking about how much of what you do and what you buy is actually just a result of manipulation in some way, shape or form. And I found that really interesting because if you think about it, like most clothes, most takeaways you try, most restaurants you try, everything's just on like manipulation in a really weird way.
Advertising at its top level is manipulation, really, isn't it? So
Now you got me thinking 2 + 2 = 5, and I'm the love of your life. 'Cause if rain don't pour and sun don't shine, and changing you is possible. No love is never logical.
that big swell there, that was crazy.
Problems are all solvable. 'Cause loving you is loving
Dirty synth.
I really like that darker feeling.
Those harmonies are haunting.
That was such a better, calmer track. Really enjoyed that. As you say, that swelling in certain points where you didn't even really realise it was happening when you were listening, and all of a sudden it cuts out and you were like, when did that even come in? Great vocals, as always. I feel like there's only so many times I can say that, but every track impresses me in a different way vocally.
With that swelling as well, we got to a point where Olivia Rodrigo was kind of delivering the really heavier vocals there. She kind of got to a point where she was almost shouting the lyrics. And I thought that, in contrast to the rest of the track where she was doing her whisper singing, just made it so much bigger and grandioso. And yeah, I thought that was a much better heartfelt track, a lot more of a more, for me personally, enjoyable emotional track.
Yeah, I also thought it was a little bit more thought-provoking. Obviously, that depends on people's life experiences and stuff, but the idea of maybe liking someone or being in love with them and trying to change them and thinking that's possible and stuff. I know that a lot of people have been through that, and I kind of related to that a little bit more than some of the other calm tracks.
Up next is Get Him Back, which has an exclamation mark at the end. And if it's anything to go off, punctuation, like Bad Idea, right? This could be a track that I like. Weird logic to use, I know, but let's find out. Let's see.
I met a guy in the summer and I left him in the spring.
Punctuation. Told you.
Everything. He had an ego and a temper and a wandering eye. He said he's 6'2" and I'm like, dude, nice try. But he was so much fun and he had such weird friends. And he would take us out to parties and the night would never end. Another song, another club, another bar, another dance. And when he said something wrong, he'd just fly me to France. So I miss him some nights when I'm feeling depressed. Till I remember every time.
Ooh, I love her there. I don't know why I didn't really like the delivery on that section. It kind of reminded me of like a nursery rhyme.
Oh, I really liked it. I feel like that's like an anthemic, like I could see a lot of people singing this back to her.
Yeah, like it's catchy in its delivery, but it reminded me of the way that a primary school group had sing.
I kind of understand what you're saying, but I think that is really good. I liked that a lot. It's good. I like it.
His face with an uppercut.
That's a good line.
I wanna meet his mom just to tell her son sucks. So I wanna key his car, I wanna make him lunch, I wanna break his heart, stitch it right back up. I wanna kiss his face with an uppercut. I wanna meet his mom and tell her son sucks. Yeah, I wanna get him back.
Come on, man. That's amazing.
Got him really good.
I really, really enjoyed that track. I thought that was such an upbeat, really sing-alongable, if that's a word, it is now, song, and I really enjoyed it.
I liked elements of it. As I say, for some reason, do you know when you hear something you can't get it out your head? The chorus kind of reminded me of a group of children singing for some reason. But in terms of the instrumental and the way she made quite dark lyrics and quite dark themes come across really fun and upbeat was interesting. I especially like that part where she kind of did a verse slowly and then did it again at double the speed with the instrumental picking up at the same time. The line about I want to kiss his face with an uppercut. I thought that was cool lyrics and delivered quite well.
There was a lot of visual metaphors in it as well, and kind of the contrasting points where she's saying, I want to make him love me and I want to make him hate me. So I want to kiss him with an uppercut. I want to see his mum and tell her that he sucks. And it was very clever songwriting. I liked it.
But Tim, Love is Embarrassing is up next. Oh, I like that from the start.
It's just 70s retro rock.
Told my friends you were the one after I'd known you like a month, and then you kissed some girl from high school.
That's proper pop punk lyrics.
First time, weird, second string loser who's not worth mentioning. I damn near started World War III. Jesus, what was I even doing? 'Cause now
I've got to admit, there's always some lines in this, like when Olivia Rodrigo saying, I nearly started World War III, and every time it just makes me laugh. I just imagine her going into an ice cream shop upset, and that's like her version of World War III. Do you know what I mean?
give up, I give up everything I place my bets in. It's not worth anything I give up, but I keep coming back for more. I give up, I give up everything I'm planning on my wedding with some guy I'll never marry, and I'm giving up, but I keep coming back for more.
I really liked the vocal delivery that she was doing towards the end. There was all that stuff going on. I thought it sounded really good, and the general instrumental of this track sounded like it could be something that was released straight out the 80s.
Yeah, the vocal delivery was a bit strange towards the end. I agree with you. It switched things up. However, I liked this song and I liked the instrumental, but I couldn't help but feel that throughout it was just a bit safe. It didn't really change much. It's a really short track, so it doesn't have to. It's 2.5 minutes, but it just felt like one continuation of the kind of same riff going on, and similar-ish delivery. Didn't mind it. But
Compared to the switch-ups we've heard on songs previously on the album, I do agree that this one kind of felt a bit more like, I think it was Making the Bed, that had that same repeating chorus over and over again, which isn't a problem. Like we say, there needs to be album tracks, but I was hoping for a little bit more.
well, we'll go on to The Grudge up next.
I really like that with the tracks that Olivia puts out, when she's playing the piano or whoever's playing the piano, you can literally hear the keys being pressed and you can hear the pedals changing. Rather than it being like a live feed from the piano into something, you can tell this is actually a full-on grand piano being recorded with a microphone set up, and I'd love it when people do that.
I would actually like to know, and if you're an Olivia Rodrigo fan watching, let me know in the comments, how much of an influence and impact she has on the production and the playing of these instruments and such, because obviously she's like a massive pop star at this point. Does she just come into the studio and sing, or does she really help to tailor and create the instrumentals as well? I'm intrigued.
I would imagine that she does help a lot with actually creating the tracks, because this album, from what I've seen, started like creation just after Sour had been released in 2021 and didn't finish the songs being made until like mid 2023, and then it was released a couple of months later. So I imagine she was, grafted in the studio that whole time.
I try to be tough, but I wanna scream. How could anybody do the things you did so easily? And I say I don't care, I say that I'm fine, but I can't let it go. I've tried for so long. It takes strength to forgive, but I don't feel strong. I try to be tough, but I wanna scream. How could anybody do the things you did so easily? And I say I don't care, I say that I'm fine, but I can't let it go. I've tried for so long.
Don't you think it's really interesting how many massive tracks, and especially in the pop genre, are all about love? I was listening to something the other day and it was saying that love is the most violent thing in the world. And that's actually weirdly true. Like, think about your relationships, not only with your partner or just with family and stuff in general, and how much you actually think about them on a day-to-day basis. I'd say it's the one thing that 99% of humans all do. Like, constantly at some point in your day, you'll think about this person or this person, this family member, this ex, this friend. And it's just like a constant battle in your head. We're weird creatures.
Yeah, it's a strange thing because to think that we're all like little Neanderthal people that have just evolved into this whole species that we are now. It's absolutely insane. But another thing that I really like so far on this track, and something that I've noticed throughout the album, is that she uses harmonies so sparingly. So in this last section here, what we've heard is there's another version of her voice in the background, maybe 2 or 3 that are layered, but they're so quiet and so hard to detect that it adds a lot to the kind of the breadth of what she's singing versus actually being a harmony. So it's like it's just adding a slight little bit of extra volume to it almost, and
A bit of oomph.
yeah, and I really like it because it's so minute, but it adds so much.
Do you think I deserved it all? Your flowers filled with betrayal. It takes strength to forgive, but I'm not quite sure I'm there yet. It takes strength to forgive, but
You know what? I actually thought that was a really good track in terms of how it was written and what she was trying to get across and convey. I think the way that the track came out was a perfect example of the grudge that she was holding, that she didn't really want to hold against this person, but she can't help herself.
Weirdly, the production of the track and the way that the vocals progressed, especially throughout the chorus section, reminded me of one of the tracks off Sour. I feel like that might be a continuation of some kind. And I just quickly Googled it whilst we were listening to it. And the first result that came up was actually apparently The Grudge is about Taylor Swift. I don't know if that's true. But that's what the first result on Google said. It would surprise me. I've never seen anything about them two having any negativity towards each other. But I thought that was a calm, easy listening. Again, nice piano. I've not really mentioned it throughout this album, but there's been a lot of good piano work. You kind of alluded to it at the start of that track. It's just very calming, gives me a mellow moment in life.
Up next, we've got the second to last track, which is Pretty Isn't Pretty. Who does this sound like, Joe?
Is that Matty Healy? Hello?
Off the bat, I knew it.
bought a bunch of makeup, trying to cover up my face. I could change up my body and change up my face. I could try every lipstick and every shade, but I always be the same. 'Cause pretty isn't pretty enough anyway.
Nice bit of guitar work.
You can win the battle.
The snare's heavy there. Like just going from that little picking guitar to...
Crispy.
You hate it, and you'd still feel so insecure. Do you think it's you? I could change up my body and change up my face. I could try every lipstick and every shade.
What's really interesting there is she's riding the back end of the beat. So na 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 na, and I think it really it kind of adds an extra level of oomph to it. It adds I don't know, it's like it's chasing itself. It's like she's really working hard to do that vocal delivery, and I think it's really good.
The clothes that they told me to buy, she summed all my deal, my whole fucking
Even with the fade out there, you could still hear how crispy that snare was throughout that track.
I really liked how it was just a well-produced indie rock song. Cool little guitar riffs, easy enough to listen to, was very 80s inspired, does remind me of the 1975, who I've always got to mention in a video. But at the same time, it's rare to hear a track like that with such good vocals over it. If you listen to a lot of indie rock bands, most of the vocals are awful a lot of the time, and that's just kind of part of the genre. But to hear Olivia, who can go in so many different directions and so many different styles with the vocals, just adds an extra layer to this type of song.
I think that's something that people don't give her enough credit for, is the delivery of her vocals. She can do spoken words, she can do the more aggressive vocals, she can do the whisper singing, she can do just regular singing, let's call it. She's got a lot in her like field house of skills and styles.
I do want to say again though, obviously we've only got one song left on the album now, I do think a lot of the rocky songs I like, and I would like to listen to them individually, but having gone through a few of them, I feel like they are quite safe. Like it feels like it's not a band, it's not a band who are taking risks and kind of doing different things with the instrumental. It feels quite protected almost.
But I feel like that's the style that she's going for.
It's pop music, isn't it? That's like her audience more so than like typical rock fans.
I think it's trying to kind of make it in a way that, because obviously she is influenced heavily by pop punk and artists in that genre.
It's to make it accessible, which is fine.
That's the important part. It's to get people into that world. And I think what she's doing here is she's opening up the door to people that are listening to this music to go, actually, you know what? I quite liked the heavier song on that album. I liked the song that had more guitars and drums. Let me go and find more like that. And then they start to find other bands, start to find new genres that they didn't know of before. And I think this is a good entry-level project for that.
Yeah, let me be clear. I'm not saying I dislike them. I just think having listened to most of them now, I'm a bit like, I like them, but maybe I feel like there's a little something missing. It's still good, but you get me.
Yeah, but we'll go on to the final track, which is Teenage Dream. Let's see what this is all about. Another nice bit of piano. Again, you can really hear that it's a mic against the piano there.
When am I gonna stop being wise beyond my years and just start being wise? When am I gonna stop being a pretty young thing to guys? And I'm sorry that I couldn't always be your teenage dream.
Oh.
One's as wide-eyed affection and all good intentions.
That dropout was interesting, wasn't it?
That reversing.
Everyone have every reason to call on my bluff. And I'm sorry that I couldn't always be your teenage dream. They all say that it gets better the more you grow. Yeah, they all say that it gets better, but what if I don't know that?
It's them harmonies again, so minute but do a lot.
Some childhood recording or something, I don't know. Well, that was Teenage Dream. That was the end of Guts. I actually really enjoyed that. I think the nice vocals into quite a heavy and energetic ending kind of summed the album up quite well.
I think having that crescendo into what we got towards the end there was absolutely amazing. And like you're saying, I think it was a perfect ending to the album.
But what did you think of Guts as a whole, Tim?
I was very pleasantly surprised here. I mean, we've listened to Sour and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed this as well. And all that it's getting me excited for is for when she next releases an album, which I imagine is either going to be this year or next year, going by it's every 2 years so far.
I agree. Really enjoyed this, especially the opening couple of tracks with that energy. Isn't what I would really expect from Olivia Rodrigo. A lot of people did tell us to expect that, but Guts provided, again, great vocals, some more emotional tracks, but also showed a completely different side to Olivia, which we got hints of in Sour, but not to this level.
Yeah, it's really opened my eyes to kind of the level of skill in songwriting and songcrafting that she's got throughout this album, and also the variety that she has in her discography. She can go from like a really heartfelt ballad to something that's a lot more anthemic and upbeat, and she can just do it all. She's a very, very good artist, and I am, like I'll say it again, pleasantly surprised.
Well, if you're a fan of Olivia, or if this is your first time listening to Guts, either way, let us know what you think about it in the comments, and please do remember to hit like and subscribe.
Thank you very much for watching.